Shashi, you're talking about disruption in the entire logistics value chain. What are the good examples, or what is the way ahead? Are there examples that or steps that you have taken which could point to where the future is?
There are multiple organizations being funded in the United States to develop what you call as a freight exchange. And there are also another venture fund which has invested in a company who's likely to provide online services for the import and export shipment for their logistic requirement. These are all currently initiatives, but we will not know the impact of that. Obviously, the people who are funding it, people who have founded it, have their logical reasons of getting into this. And we believe also that this industry can be significantly managed because this is a very traditional business. There is a set way of doing work.
It's one of the oldest industries in the world.
Exactly.
I mean, from the time of I think 5,000 years old, when mariners set out to trade between continents.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is a cross-border shipment. There are a lot of documentation to follow. There are multiple agencies involved in the business. There is a lot of data, manual data that people still have to do today. So there is a lot of process improvements which are possible.
Tell us, where is the logistics sector in India? How would you compare that to what is happening around the world? Or do you see that, at least on this front, India and the rest of the world are on the same arc of development?
India has evolved as a as an industry over the years. We still unfortunately have quite a bit of infrastructure overhang. If you ask any senior people in the logistic industry globally, one thing they very bitterly complain about is our not infrastructure setbacks that the country has. For example, let's say the ports. There may not be too much of congestion inside the port, but there is a lot of congestion coming into the port. The rail network is not up to the mark when you compare to the international standards.
And the connectivity between ports and railway is poor?
Sometimes yes. Sometimes even if there is a connectivity, the connectivity is not enough, right? So that leads to a lot of backlog of capacity issues, and containers are waiting outside, and the transit time is much longer from Delhi to, say for example, JNPT takes anywhere between 4 to 5 days. It should not take more than 12 or 15 days, which is 15 hours, for example. And that will happen eventually when the DFC comes up. So there are many such bottlenecks, many such inefficiencies. The number of conferences that is being held, a lot of discussions have happened in this area, and very little improvement happened.
Government has been, I think, from the time when Prime Minister Vajpayee was in charge to today, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is talking about the Sagarmala project and the Dweepmala, which is really a ring of ports across the subcontinent. How far away are we from realizing that? Do you think the pace has picked up?
There's definitely a lot of focus on the maritime industry by the current government, particularly Mr. Nitin Gadkari, who's extremely dynamic, and he wants to get a lot of things done. But it is taking its own time, because this is, like I said, the industry which has been doing a business in a certain way, and there are multiple governmental agencies who are involved in this, the customs, the port authorities. Adding to that is the congestion, adding to that is the road infrastructure and the rail infrastructure is lacking. So there are, all these agencies need to be brought together, and the issues needs to be dealt with. It is taking time, but this is the best time, I think, for the country.
Shashi, thank you very much for being with us, and our best wishes for your continued success.
Thank you, Pranjal.